Hey, we're Ocufy, and I'm Caleb Kim, and I go to Gunn High School in Palo Alto, California.
Hi, I'm Joseph Chen, a current student at Phillips Exeter Academy in Exeter, New Hampshire.
Hi, I'm Michael Liang from Basis Mesa in Gilbert, Arizona.
And I'm Swarith Reddy, all the way from Troy High School in Michigan.
A prominent issue that plagues the healthcare industry, especially physicians, is the time spent on using electronic health record systems, or EHR for short, both for retrieving information and logging information. It's simply technological inefficiency. In the delivery of healthcare, time is a vital and limited resource. It contributes to healthcare costs and acts as a key element in patient-doctor relationships. But with these EHR systems and technological inefficiency, less time is dedicated towards actually treating the patients and seeing them. Furthermore, physician burnout and dissatisfaction rates with EHR usage have been significantly researched. As reported in numerous studies, physicians spend, on average, half their days on EHR and desk work, and only 27% with patients. More specifically, in a study by Dr. Stuart Babbitt, physicians in the moderate and high EHR cluster reported more stress and lower satisfaction compared to the low EHR cluster. Not surprisingly, it was only in the high EHR cluster that time pressure was associated with significantly more burnout, dissatisfaction, and intent to leave. By better allocating physician time and thus improving efficiency and responsiveness, clinics and medical centers can better improve scheduling, optimize practical capacity of their facilities, and refine payment accuracy for services.
So here's where Ocufy comes in. What is Ocufy? Well, Ocufy is an innovative medical technology for making healthcare more accessible by using AR to perform tedious tasks that healthcare workers have to do on a daily basis. This ultimately gives healthcare workers more time to spend with patients, and it increases the accessibility of healthcare while reducing burnout in healthcare facilities. So primarily, Ocufy is able to retrieve patient information using facial recognition, and it displays this data in real time so that doctors can view it and monitor it while attending to the patient. Even more than that, doctors can use voice commands to document notes and updates that they deem necessary, which eliminates the need for handwritten notes, which are responsible for taking lots of time out of their days. Lastly, Ocufy is able to monitor machine readings and vitals of patients, and it will send alerts to healthcare workers when there are warnings and terrible signs in the patterns, which ultimately makes healthcare much more responsive. So, what do we offer to the user? Well, Ocufy, first and foremost, is seamlessly integrated, and it's not annoying nor difficult, so it's very easy to adopt. And patient data is much easier than ever to retrieve, as it is done so with a single glance. Ocufy also uses a very secure and real-time database to ensure that the data and vitals and everything are up to speed and that they display the best possible information about the patient. Patient data is also displayed in a way that is extremely easy to read for the doctor so that they can immediately see if there are problems, and even trainees are able to. Moving on, so Ocufy definitely faces some privacy questions, but it has an extensive two-factor authentication system, and it also has object-based passwords where users can designate an object that will serve as an authentication when looked at. And this will ensure that only trained and trusted professionals have the capability to use Ocufy. And that eliminates a lot of the security concerns. And Ocufy also protects privacy by logging the user out when they take the glasses off. So ultimately, they would have to log in every time that Ocufy is to be used. So this is a huge part of our privacy policy. Lastly, Ocufy also gives hospitals the power to sort of black out some glasses when they are lost or when they have data at risk.
With the implementation of EchoAR and Unity, Ocufy is able to provide medical professionals with better access to patient information and vitals in a more digestive and efficient manner. Ocufy starts its functionality when the AR device, ideally AR glasses, scans a patient's face. The scanned face matches up with one of the faces stored in the Ocufy database, the key, which is linked to the patient's electronic health record, and notes as well as their vitals if applicable. Ocufy pulls up the patient's electronic health records and vital scans using API fetch calls from EchoAR in real time so the healthcare provider can view it while attending to the patient. Here's the workflow visualized in 3 steps. If the healthcare provider wishes to make an update to the patient's electronic health records, Any changes made will be automatically created as a 3D model on Ocufy and stored into the pre-existing patient's electronic health records. Some of the prototype models we created via SketchUp are the vital monitors, the clipboard, and the post-it note. These models were then uploaded to Echo AR and automatically implemented into Unity through the Echo AR face prehab.
Our final segment of Ocufy is focused on our future goals and growth. In the ever-growing field of healthcare, Ocufy needs to continue to grow and innovate to keep up with the industry. Our future goals in developing Ocufy can be classified into 3 qualities: efficiency, friendliness, and modernity. With our entire mission being focused around simplifying the patient record system, we aim to become more efficient over time, increasing the ease of finding quality patient information. Additionally, we aim to make Ocufy secure and easy to use, ensuring that Ocufy is not just a product that both healthcare providers and patients need, but also one that they want. Finally, Ocufy's minimalistic and modern design upgrades will help it keep up with the times. Ocufy, making healthcare more accessible and efficient with a simple glance.
Okay, hey everyone, we're here with this amazing team on, so you guys participated in a hackathon, and so we're going to talk to the winning team. And we're going to ask you guys a little bit about your experience as well as any learnings that you have from there. So firstly, let's just get everyone to introduce yourselves to us. So Joseph or Joe, do you want to go first? Do you want to tell us your
Yeah.
name, what you do during the week, and why you decided to participate in the hackathon?
So I'm Joseph. I study in the East Coast, but I'm a Californian resident. And during the week, currently I'm just, I tutor a lot of people, and I am working through a lot of college apps. It's college app season, so just trying to get ahead. Why did I participate in the hackathon? I don't know. I just like building and creating. It's just fun. So just thought it'd be fun to do it with some friends.
Cool. So what kind of students do you tutor?
Everything and anything, honestly. I tutor people in anything STEM, anything comp sci usually, or help them out with work or test prep. Yeah.
Awesome. Suarez, do you want to go next?
Hello, I'm Swarith Reddy, and I'm from the Greater Detroit area in Michigan. So, a Midwesterner here. During the week, I sort of just work on, I guess, product ideas, which is similar to a hackathon. So just anything that I find is like a problem within my life or someone else's, trying to work up and come up with a solution. And I thought that was what was really connected with me with a hackathon. And this was actually my first hackathon. So Joseph introduced it to me, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. So I went along with it and had a great time.
Oh, awesome. It's always good to have newbies on board. How about you, Michael?
Hello, my name is Michael Liang. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. And what I do during the week, probably just play video games and play badminton.
I love the
Valid,
honesty
valid.
here.
Yeah.
The school is that studying involved in there or not?
It hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
School hasn't started. So, yeah.
What's your favorite video game?
I've been playing a lot of Valorant and Minecraft.
Put your hands up if you all play that game.
We play as a group.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
And then I was invited by Joseph, and I had no clue what hackathon was until he invited me to participate, and it was a fun experience.
Wonderful. And how about you, Caleb?
Yeah, I'm Caleb. I'm from the West Coast, Bay Area, and Joseph and I met over the summer, and we're already pretty tight. He invited me to the hackathon, which I've helped manage a hackathon before, but I've never actually participated in one. So I thought it would be an interesting experience. Usually during the week, you'll find me working on coding projects because I personally find that fun. And yeah, I'll be playing video games with the rest of these guys.
That is hilarious. How long have you been coding for, Caleb?
I just got into it sophomore year, but I've been doing it pretty intensely.
What's sophomore year?
Second year of high school.
Oh, second year of high school. And now,
Yeah.
are you in your last year of high school?
Yeah, I'm a senior now.
Senior. Cool. Alrighty. So let's start off with just understanding, Joseph, it seems like you strung everyone together and you asked everyone to participate in this hackathon. So I think that you're the reason why they are here. Do you want to tell us, like, how did you first get into a hackathon? And in your opinion, what is a hackathon?
So just like Swarith and Michael, this was the first hackathon I attended. Actually, I organized about 3 hackathons, but I've never actually participated in a hackathon. For me, I feel like hackathons are just a time and a place to not only use as a creative outlet to build solutions to modern day problems, but it's also a really fun time to connect, like meet similarly interested peers, but from like a variety of different backgrounds. You get to see a lot of different workshops, speakers, learn new skills. I feel like there's a lot of learning opportunities in hackathons. And I know as both a hackathon organizer and I just love the free swag. Like I think that's one of my favorite things about hackathons, getting stickers, getting honestly anything, getting bags, whatnot. I just love it. I mean, who doesn't like stickers, right?
Did you get much free swag in this one? Because this was an online hackathon, right?
I think they were supposed to send some swag by mail sooner or later. Haven't gotten it yet, but I trust them. Yeah, I'll get my sticker soon.
Cool. Okay. So you said you organized quite a few hackathons before. Were they organized through school, or like how did that all kind of come about?
So yeah, the first hackathon I helped organize is Hack Exeter. So I study at a boarding school in the East Coast called Exeter, and we host a hackathon for middle schoolers and high schoolers in the local area, about 150 plus students. So I organized it through one of the clubs on campus called Exeter Computing Club. And then afterwards, I was referred to Hack New England high schools, which is just similar to Hack Exeter, but the whole New England region, hosted in the Microsoft Boston, Burlington, I think. Not too sure anymore, the new location. And then I was also referred to help with Hack Blockchains for School. So Blockchains for School is a nonprofit to kind of cultivate blockchain knowledge and experience within high schoolers and college students. So I was helping out with that, mostly the logistic and outreach part. And yeah, I didn't really get to, 2 of the hackathons I organized were canceled due to COVID, or at least postponed, I hope. Or we're probably moving to a virtual platform, so we'll see about that. Yeah.
So how did you advocate and get all these guys on board? How did you persuade them?
I think everyone here I think they have a love for just building, like finding solutions, building things. I think a lot of them see creating and innovating as a creative outlet. So I thought they would find the hackathon just a really fun time. And because I think out of the whole, I think the main reason why I wanted to join the hackathon and invite my friends to is just to have some fun and build something, because we had some extra time on our hands. So that's pretty much about it.
Cool, awesome. And so Caleb, once you kind of heard this call, what was your initial reaction from this? And how do you think, has this hackathon changed your perspectives on hackathons, on what you used to perceive them to what they are actually?
Well, my initial reaction was, let's do it. It sounds amazing. Because I personally love to build things similar to Joseph. And when he mentioned the prizes, I was like, okay, we have to get in this. It's going to be,
that's a deciding factor.
It's going to be a blast. Yeah, and I still stand by that because, I mean, this is the first time I've actually been rewarded for something that I made, and it feels pretty rewarding, I guess. And my view on hackathons has sort of shifted in the way where I feel like it's more of a, it's meant to sort of encourage interest and to let people have fun rather than just compete in a sort of toxic environment. So I think I have a much more positive outlook on them now.
Awesome. And so speaking about you loving to build things, how did you come up with this great solution of Ocufy?
Well, essentially we saw that the hackathon had partnered with Echo AR, and since all four of us, like, we love to build things in our free time, but none of us have actually used AR before. So we thought it would be really interesting to dive both into AR and healthcare at the same time. And we also wanted to find the problem that hasn't been catered to yet. So we brainstormed a lot of issues that are plaguing the healthcare industry today, and we found that one is time efficiency and sort of medical professional burnout. So that was why we sort of wanted to go in this direction. And we also found that it's an issue that's affected all of us because we've been to the hospital numerous times. With COVID right now, especially, it's hard to even manage these patients. That's why insurance is sort of going off the charts right now too. So, yeah.
Yep, awesome. And so, like, did you have to do a lot of research in this space since you went from the industry? Did you talk to people who worked in the healthcare industry? How did you kind of flesh it all out?
Mhm. Well, I have an uncle who's a doctor, but in Korea. But I sort of talked to him a bit and found that, well, it was more for validation actually. Initially, we did a lot of research and found that this was a major problem that hasn't been solved yet. And I sort of contacted my uncle to see how he felt about the issue. And he told me that in Korea, although there aren't that many people in hospitals, like individual ones, because there's so many of them, it's still insanely hard to get patients onto the roster and onto the schedule for treatment because they're spending so much time at their computers. So we saw this as an essential issue that we had to solve.
That's great. I love the fact that you reached out to your uncle who gave you some insights, who work in the industry. And I think the common factor for a lot of hackathon winners is that they actually reach out to people, they talk to people who actually work in the industry and really understand their pain points and then come up with solutions from there. So as a team, Swarith, how did you work together? I know all of you, game together. That's a big bonus, but that's from a gaming perspective. How did you understand each other's strengths and skills?
So I think a lot of us, like all four of us, come from very different backgrounds. All of us go to different schools, have had different experiences, have different levels of input with the hackathons that we worked in the past. And we were sort of able to work through what sort of skills that each of us were able to do best. And I think we went with a divide and conquer approach, right? So we each divided a piece of the project and figured out who would be best apt to work for each part of the project. And I think that worked great. There was no stepping on each other's toes. We were able to communicate efficiently. And it was good because it's not like we were on our own. The whole team aspect was there too, because we were able to ask each other for help, as it wasn't just that the person who had their part had to do everything alone. All of us had some experience in every part, so we were able to help each other out. And I think another part of working as a team is not just working within ourselves, but also with the people who are working for the hackathon, with the mentors and the judges, right? It's good communicating with them, asking them for help, because a lot of the platforms like Echo AR we were new to it too, and they were a great help. And we didn't feel like we were on our own at all. And that was the great part of it.
I love this aspect because this kind of replicates the startup environment where everyone's a generalist in everything but specializes in something. And this is the future of how we work. And if you want to start up your own projects or own businesses and that kind of thing, this is like a great taste tester there. So how did you talk to your mentors? How did you connect with them? And like what was the whole process of working together with them?
So we XDHacksMini had a Discord which they set up for all of us to communicate in. So we had a channel for us to communicate as a team, but we could also reach out to the mentors. So we were able to reach out to them, ask them any questions, just have some lighthearted conversation every once in a while. Just I guess quote unquote banter around. And it was just a fun experience. It didn't seem like a serious, super competitive thing. It was just sort of working on a project with friends and people who were there to help us along the way.
Wonderful. And so what were kind of the tools that you used to create that demo at the end. Michael, do you want to talk us
Yeah.
through that process?
So the main tool we used was Echo AR, and they have a website where you can add in import 3D objects. So we imported objects with dot object formats, and we added some metadata. And from there on, we used Unity and fetched the objects from Echo AR and built a platform on my phone. I still have it on my phone right now.
Really?
And then we just built the AR onto my phone. Yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. Was it your first time also working with AR as well?
Yeah, it was my first time. I had to contact Alan on Slack quite a lot because it was my first time using Echo AR and Unity too. So it was pretty difficult actually.
So did it take long for you to piece all the puzzles together? Do you think it was feasible?
Yeah, getting Unity set up was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through a lot of YouTube tutorials and
you switched computers too.
yeah, I had to switch from my desktop to my Mac because I didn't have an Android phone to connect to my Windows desktop. So
yeah, I had to recalibrate, reset up everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And so for those I guess Michael, what for you was the highlight at the hackathon? What was the biggest challenge and what did you learn during the experience?
The highlight was when it was super late at night and Alan, he turned off his notifications, and then I told my group and they were like I just got ghosted by Alan because I contacted him too many times. Yeah. And then one of the challenges was figuring out how to get the AR to work. I think that was the hardest part because I tried doing the project with sunglasses instead of our own project or our own 3D models, and the sunglasses, it was over here when my face was over here, so it was just moving around and it was a random angle or something like that. So figuring how to change the metadata, which direction to put it in, how to rotate it, how to scale it, and then adding in our own objects was probably took me the longest time.
Oh, hilarious. Love the stories. How about you, Joe? What was your highlight and what was the biggest challenge you had to overcome and the best learning that you had?
I see. So honestly, I think the highlights were when we just kind of took some time to just relax, rest up, and we played some games together. We played mostly just going back to our childhood roots, playing Minecraft, trying to, I don't know, speed run it. So we had a lot of fun while working on the project as well. And then we also saw one of the mentors playing games, so we were just teasing them about it, hey, you up for a game too?
How did you see
fun.
everyone else playing games? Because there were some games going on, right? On Slack?
Yeah,
or?
on Discord, I mean, the hackathon did organize some games, which I personally did not attend most of them, just because I just didn't know. I turned off my notification for Discord, so I missed them, which was sad. But you can also see the statuses of other people if they're playing games on Discord. So we were just checking the mentors, and we saw that some of them were playing games, so we thought it was funny. And yeah, we teased them a little bit in our private chat, and then they replied. It was just fun, a little banter here and there. Yeah,
Love it.
So one of the unique challenges I faced was the deadline. Being from 4 different, I guess, regions, time zones, and then having different available tools like recording and audio, was really hard to, because I work mostly on the video editing at the end, and it was really hard to piece everything together, get a whole script working, and then tie everything to the presentation. It's just a lot of work, and we're honestly down to the last couple minutes at that point because uploading it took hours or an hour or so, and it was a really big time crunch at the end for sure.
I think, yeah,
And
how about your learnings? Yep.
yeah, and then learning, for me, since I met Swarith and Caleb at a summer program a couple months ago, focused on the delivery of products, the marketing, as well as like creating and innovating. So I think one of the biggest learnings I had was that the delivery is as good as the product, because if you're not able to effectively showcase the issue and why your solution is the best solution or the best product out there to fix said problem, then you can't really buy people's interest. You know, you can't really show off the extent of your idea, your concept, and your prototype. So the delivery through video, through pitches, through we even wrote executive summary of three pages long with 20 like 10 pages of additional research papers and like figures and facts that we took everything from to kind of just effectively showcase our whole the issue that we're facing and our whole concept in combating that issue. So yeah.
10 pages of research. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's more than a university paper, you could say. I'm surprised you could do and fit all of this over a weekend. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Suarez? What was your highlight, challenge, and favorite learning?
I think the highlight for me wasn't necessarily a particular moment necessarily, but the whole experience as a whole. This was my first ever encounter with the hackathon in any way, shape, or form, right? And I thought that like sort of tying in with the learnings, right? It sort of really opened me up to what exactly a hackathon was, right? It's not just programming, right? It's creating a solution in like the form of a product and shaping it in a way that it like solves a real world problem using technology as a medium. And I thought that was a really cool way, as it's not just a competition or just building a product, but it sort of goes hand in hand with sort of the way of creating a startup, which I think the entrepreneurial spirit behind hackathon was super cool for me. Personally, as a challenge, I worked with Michael on the code, and I think the hardest part was uploading all the files to GitHub, because the connection, Echo AR uses Unity, and we had hundreds of files because Unity has so many assets and libraries and all. So using Git Bash and large file storage and getting everything by the deadline was just so insanely hard. It's funny to look back on it now.
Oh, that is hilarious. I can just imagine you guys going, my internet, or like has to upload before the deadline. Always give yourself at least a couple of hours to do that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And how about your biggest learning?
My biggest learning, I think I was able to develop my programming skills as a whole. I'm a newer programmer. It's been maybe about a year and a half or so. So I think this was my first experience sort of competing or using programming in a competitive setting. And I was able to sort of learn how to use tech in a way that I was able to do it quickly and more efficiently and find the best ways and not just any functional way. I think was a really cool thing that I learned.
Excellent. It's always good to work with agility. And how about you, Caleb? What was your highlight during the hackathon, and any challenges and your best or most, best learning curve?
Yeah. So as everyone else sort of touched on, I think a highlight for me was just having fun with our project and socializing. I mean, that Discord server with all of these people that are competing, all these people that are proctoring, it's just a social hub of connections that you can make with a bunch of brilliant minds that have similar interests to you. So why not branch out? And that's exactly what we did during like the Scribble.io events, the Kahoot events, things like that. And I think, yeah, overall, we just had a lot of fun. I remember at one point, Michael just pasted a clipboard onto his face, and that was going to be our product for like 10 minutes maybe. So yeah, reaching out and just talking to people was amazing. One challenge we did have with our product itself was because we were developing a sort of B2B product that goes from an enterprise to another enterprise, we had to find a way around security issues, because that's something that is super critical in today's market, especially with everybody having this sort of paranoia stigma around smart technology. So we had to find a way around that. And as you can see in our product demonstration, we found a pretty clever way to do that. And I think the main takeaway from this hackathon for me was that it's supposed to be fun. Hackathons are supposed to be social events where you can meet new people, you can bond with the people that you're working with, and overall, you just gotta have a good time, whether your product is super technical, it's super creative, it can even be sort of insignificant as long as you have fun with it and you learn something from it.
I love that. That was such a great summary of everything, especially the networking and having fun. That's something that all hackathons should really encompass and champion. So thank you so much all for your time and telling us about your experience at this hackathon. So hopefully we'll see you at other hackathons. But thank you everyone for listening and hope you got something out of it. See ya.